So it is another Nintendo show, and I'm joined by Emily from Nintendo Norwich. Hello, Emily.
Hi.
I'm joined by Ash from One Life Left. Hello, Ash.
Hi.
And I'm joined by Bill from Pop Culture Pause Screen. Hi, Bill.
Hi, guys.
And we're going to talk about our favourite Switch games this evening, specifically single-player Switch games. But we can take tangents into all sorts of random things as well. Kizra's good as well. That's good to know. Excellent. Have we all seen the news from today that I put on Facebook?
Oh, what,
No.
the news that I heard about yesterday?
Yeah, the news that you helped me set up yesterday, Ash. That that the cafe will be reopening for screen hire on the 23rd of July.
Oh, cool.
Don't be all too excited, guys. It's all right.
Oh, good.
But yeah, we'll be. You
I
are.
was a bit confused because I'm sure the video that I'm looking at on your Facebook is from the Sega Saturn versus PlayStation reveal, and I obviously can't hear it.
Yeah, that would be the one.
Oh, okay. I need to obviously listen to it.
I did like proper editing and everything in it. Right.
Oh, did
you
you?
can check it. You can check it later, Bill. I've already kind of given away the gist of it. But yeah, further news obviously will be incoming over the next few weeks. But now that we've set a date, we've got ourselves a target to work towards, and then we'll be open for screen hire and stuff. So yeah, there we go.
Awesome.
Hello, Stegosaurus as well. The clip was perfect, said Kizra. Awesome. That took me a whole 20 minutes of editing as well, Kizra, to get that footage and to edit it all in.
Oh, wow. 20 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah. That was almost as long as Jack spent editing GTA today. Actually, no, I think he spent quite a while on that, yeah, actually. That's quite good so far. Hello, Bengus.
You know, his
Hello,
heart is
Vegas.
in it.
Oh, he is. No, he's done a really good job, actually. I haven't finished watching all the GTA thing. In fact, I'm so confident in Jack's editing ability that it's been uploaded to YouTube before I've even actually watched it, which is a first.
I can tell you it's a very funny video. I watched it while I was at work.
Oh, awesome.
And you can see that, so it's actually really, really good.
Good stuff.
I'm never getting in the car with you and Emily, though, because I do not want to be stuck in someone's back garden for eternity.
Oh, it was that one. Oh my
Who
god.
has a garden like that? Like, who has a massive
What you can't
patio?
escape from.
Only,
Yeah, exactly.
only
I've got a
people.
I've got a lovely
LA.
car, but I don't take it anywhere. Built a wall, didn't I?
It was a damn good wall.
Yeah, it was. It was solid.
That wall, it
Couldn't
didn't go
get through it
anywhere.
at all.
No.
None of this destructible environments in GTA Online. So we're going to talk about our favourite single-player Switch games this week. Yes, let's do that. How do you want to do it? Are we each going to do 3, or should we just do like one at a time and go around the room?
Shall we do one at a time and go around the room so that it's not just one person talking consistently for 10 minutes?
That's a good idea.
Yes.
I will go first to get the boring one out of the way, because I feel that the best single-player game on the Switch is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And now, I shall hand over to Ash to spend 10 minutes telling me why that's not the case.
No, you are perfectly entitled to your opinion, John.
Last time you played Breath of the Wild, John,
Yeah.
and why would you recommend it?
Well, thank you for the follow there, Vegas. Much appreciated. Oh, sorry, the subscribe, wasn't it? Cheers.
Oh, got to interrupt you. Sorry, got to interrupt you.
Oh, okay. So, well,
It's Vegas' birthday today, so
Oh, is it?
everybody in the chat, wish him a happy birthday.
oh, happy birthday,
Happy
Vegas.
birthday!
Oh, wow. Happy birthday. I've got to type it in myself at... Oh, how did I not know that?
Because you don't go on Facebook, clearly.
That's true.
And
I only
put it in
use
the
Facebook
chat.
for work, so...
What a legend to share his birthday with us.
Exactly.
So,
Thanks, Breath of the
yes,
Wild.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Obviously, it was in development for a very long time because it was this particular game was announced as a launch title for Wii U, was it not? I remember taking pre-orders for Zelda U when we were pre-ordering the Wii U, actually, Bill, you and I, when we were working on that together, when we used to work together. And it
Yes.
never occurred. We had inlays in the drawers for ages, like the fake box inlays for a Zelda U, and it just never happened.
You could possibly
I was just like
never
blank logo, where
I was actually about to ask, was there anything collectible that you stored with, so these are the inlays that never got to be put in a case? that had lovely art on them or something.
They were
Just
kept
as
for
I
some
know.
time. I think it
Was
was
it just,
literally
was
like.
it just Zelda in Comic Sans?
I think it was, yes, it literally wasn't far off. It was literally like some random guy at head office, like the day of the reveal, some random guy at head office goes on Microsoft Paint and just gets
Zelda,
a really low-res
you.
picture, sticks it on a black
This is how
background
bad.
and sends it out.
This is how bad it was. John was actually tasked with making the inlays for our region because he did a better job in the marketing department.
Oh
Wow, and
shit,
John
yeah.
uses
It was all the
Blade.
digital games, wasn't it?
Language,
Yeah.
please.
Oh, sorry. The Xbox 360 digital games, wasn't it? Things like Sonic 1 and
Yeah.
Sonic 2. And we made... that would have been done on Paint as well.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And I cut them all up with scissors and I had to make loads of them and then sent them out to everyone, yeah.
There was one time Tesco did a banging good job on Animal Crossing Happy Home design. They'd obviously ran out of the inlays and they obviously had one left in stock out back, but basically someone drew a house with a smiley face and just said Happy Home Designer on it. Out on the shelves.
That's pretty much what they do in Tesco's now.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I think it adds the personal touch.
Yeah.
I think they should have their own custom sleeves in Tesco.
Oh, it's terrible. Black and white photocopies where the boxes all the wrong way round and
Scan
it's
lines,
All sorts,
yeah.
all
Right,
sorts
some
of
of them
crazy
are wrong.
stuff, wasn't it? Mind you, though, Nintendo print box things the wrong way round, don't they? Because Luigi's L was the wrong way round on Mario Kart Wii.
Was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That sounds
Have you
like
never
a quiz
noticed that,
question.
Emily?
Well, no, because I don't look at my copy of Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah, his L's the wrong way around on his hat.
Oh,
In the
okay.
chat, JD Shaw says, "Hi guys, when is your gaming cafe opening again? Do you know?" Well, funny you should mention that, JD Shaw, because today we actually announced that we will be reopening for Screen Hire on the 23rd of July. Further information will be coming on our social channels in due course. Kizra says they're aiming to open 299. Very good. Anyway, yeah, Breath of the Wild. I feel that it is a fantastically well-crafted open world. And at the time when I played it, I thought it was probably the best game that I played in the last 10 years. What are you laughing at, Emily?
I just heard Ash's breathing down the mic.
Oh, we caught... That was Ash's sigh, was it? I thought that was just like mic interference or something, but clearly
No,
not.
that was me sighing quite
Okay,
loudly. I'm sorry.
you can
That's
have your
Ash saying,
say.
For God's sake.
I'll give you a moment to have your say. But as an open world game, I thought it was fantastic because very few open world games handle weather, temperature, stuff like that. The fact that you can literally climb on anything everywhere, and whatever you think about trying to do, you can usually, in most cases, do it, which is fantastic. So
It's good sandbox play.
Yeah.
I'll give it that.
I will admit that, you know, the story isn't incredible. It's not really a story-based game. But the experimentation that you can do in it, and the shrines as well, I liked how the shrines were all bite-sized. That worked for me. It simply suited my particular taste in games and the style of play that I was into at the time. Ash, tell me why I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. You are entitled to your opinion, but I personally, in my opinion, think that Breath of the Wild was a little bit overhyped, didn't really live up to my expectations, and was just really quite boring. But that's just my opinion.
Okay. It was. I felt, you know, there's more detail in other open world games for sure, but I think it was the Nintendo polish kind of lifted it above what you'd get from something like a Bethesda RPG, that kind of thing. It just showed what Nintendo can do when they really put the you know, the attention that they can. Not getting my words out very well here, but it shows what Nintendo can do when they really work hard on something. And obviously this was clearly in development, you know, for pretty much the whole of the Wii U's lifespan, and it really shows. And as a launch title for the Switch, I think it did, the format itself, it did Nintendo no end of good, considering what their hardware situation was. You know, they were literally just living on the 3DS for the previous 5 years, and if it wasn't for that one game coming out, we'd have probably had a quite a different Switch launch if it wasn't for that game. So other than outside of the quality of Breath of the Wild and whether or not it was good and whether or not you liked it or not, in terms of what it did for Nintendo as a hardware manufacturer, I think it really helped that. It was a very important game. I will take your silence as someone agrees with me on that level.
We were nodding.
I
We
think
were nodding.
what you're saying is completely right, John. It was what was the good business move, but I personally think Breath of the Wild was the most dull, frustrating,
Oh, for God's sake, Bill.
and I'm normally on your side, buddy. I'm normally on your
Fine.
side.
No. This is what it's for.
They took everything that I like about a Zelda game and threw it out of the window, which I know a lot of people wanted.
It was different. It was different, of course.
Wanted it to be something different, but they took all the parts I liked about Zelda and got rid of it. The dungeons and the fact they all look the same was so dull. The fact that there's, 400 of them, I really don't care, because every time I got to one, I just thought I'm doing one puzzle and leaving, so there's no substance. All the big dungeons looked exactly the same. All the bosses looked exactly the same. Even the last dungeon where you climb up the mountain to get to Ganon, I looked at it and I went, okay, what's the fastest way to do this, I suppose? Because there's loads of bad guys that way and there's loads of bad guys that way. I literally climbed a straight line to Ganon and skipped everything out and didn't even realise that was what I was doing. I missed part of the story out to Death Mountain because I ended up coming to the map halfway up Death Mountain. And why do you slip when it rains?
Because it's slippery.
Slippery when wet, Bill.
You just have to
Bon
stand
Jovi
there
album.
and wait for it to stop raining before you can continue the game. Is that whose idea was that?
This isn't Animal Crossing.
It's fine.
Oh.
I had no issue with it. I had no issue
This
with
is
it
the
at all.
quality of life they wanted to add.
Yeah, but they took away loads of quality of life.
I like Zelda when you go to a temple and you spend a good couple of hours trying to figure out the puzzles, press a switch and it moves something here, get a key and open that door. That for me, and I understand a lot of people haven't got that kind of time to put into a game. I get that, I understand that. But for me, when I get to a temple, I want it to be almost a puzzle within a puzzle within a puzzle, not just one block puzzle and then move on. So for me, it wasn't the Zelda game I wanted. But you're right, John. It's a very important game. It sold tremendously well, and it's exactly what the Switch needed for launch.
Very good. Anything to add, Emily?
I agree that there was too many shrines. I personally like the shrines because it was nice to have a quick in and out. Because when I do like dungeons in older Zelda games, I get this feeling of claustrophobia, and I've just when I was younger playing them, I would inevitably be stuck in a dungeon for several hours, and then giving up. So for me to have this shrine where it's like, oh, I did that in 5 minutes, I'm outside again. I think there should have been more proper dungeons to balance out the shrines. I can accept maybe doing shrines en route to a larger dungeon where you're collecting gear that will help you out in that larger dungeon with meaty puzzles that go through. Otherwise, it felt Breath of the Wild meant to feel lonely because of this kind of sort of post-apocalyptic Hyrule where there wasn't as much of a population anymore, but it just felt a little bit too empty. You could walk forever and not meet one person, and you think, oh, well, there's nobody living in Hyrule, and then you just come across a man with a donkey. Like, well, there is a civilization here, but it's populated wrong.
There's perhaps less people.
Did you not feel that because you almost got there too late? Like, all the action and all the decent story happened 1,000 years ago, and then Link woke up.
There's nothing left to do.
He's like, what did I miss? I feel really bad for Zelda. I'd have liked to have done Breath of the Wild playing from the point of view of Zelda, because she's been dealing and sorting out Ganon, holding him off for 100, 200 years, whilst Link is having a snooze in a sarcophagus somewhere. She does a lot of stuff, and she doesn't get enough credit for how
We
much
need like
she does these
a
games.
badass Princess Zelda game, like one of the new Tomb Raider
She
games.
doesn't need
Just
to.
let me play as Sheik.
Yeah,
that
I'd
too.
like it where you could play as both Zelda and Sheik.
We have
They-
some
favourite
opinions
slot.
in the chat as well.
Yes.
Jewel Knight says, "Who wants the same old Zelda game again? Things needed to change." Vagarus says, "I can agree. It needed some traditional dungeons. The Divine Beasts were great, and I wanted more of it." Lewis references Bill saying, "This guy's probably someone who actually likes The Last of Us 2." I don't think you do like The Last of Us 2, do you, Bill? You don't know. You
I've
haven't
not
played it yet, have you? Okay.
I don't know.
Lewis also says, where was the Smash tournament on Monday? And it's like, yes, of course, Lewis. I may have completely not done that. There will be a Smash tournament next week. That is now on the cards. But on Monday, well, we've spent the last couple of days at the cafe rearranging tables and stuff, which has been fun, hasn't it, Ash?
Oh yes.
Trying to
that
work
was
out
fantastic.
how to lay out our tables in a way that you can still fit enough people in to make money, but keeping everyone a metre apart. When your cafe is 6 metres wide and your tables are 1 metre 20
3 metres wide.
Yeah, it's been. I'm probably a lot better at Tetris now. We'll have to do another Tetris tournament and see if we've improved, because I reckon, Ash, we've done all right. Either way,
Yes.
there will be lots of information coming out regarding our opening on the 20th of July in the next couple of weeks. Who would like to suggest another good single-player Switch game?
Me.
Go on, Ash.
I'm cheating, by the way. I'm not picking a Nintendo exclusive.
That's fine. If it's on the
Fine.
Switch, it counts.
The Binding of Isaac, Afterbirth Plus specifically, is
I
my
haven't played
choice. It's so good. So it's a roguelike, which means it's procedurally generated, like what you get on each floor, and you just do like so many runs. There's so many different bosses, so many different ways to play, so many different builds, so many characters you can play as. But yeah, you're playing the same, like, because you have like basement 1, basement 2, caves 1, caves 2. So it's like the same floors, but every run is so different. Depending on like what pickups you get, what bosses you run into. I have the Binding of Isaac on Switch. I had it on PS4, had it on PS3, and I had it on PC, and I've paid full price for it every time. That is how much I like the Binding of Isaac. So that is my first choice for single-player Switch games.
Okay. I'd like to give it a try, actually. How long does it take to play through?
I'm Commander Shepard.
So to get to what is considered an ending, which will be like the first ending you get, because you have to get to a certain ending to be able to unlock different other endings. You can do it if you get the correct build in about 15 minutes. But then, like I said, you have to be good at the game, you have to get the correct build, you have to like have basically a perfect run to do that.
Okay, cool.
It's a bit like Smash TV, John.
Alright, yeah, I can handle that. Thank you to Damien for liking the stream, and thank you to Brenda for following the stream as well. Just to throw that out there. Any thoughts on Binding of Isaac? Anyone else?
I
not
tried it
played
on. Oh, sorry, Emily, you go first.
No, it's all right. Literally, I'm just saying I've never played it. It's been on my to purchase list, and it keeps getting bumped down when other titles come out. I'll get there eventually.
I had one summer where I decided not to buy any big AAA games because I didn't like any of them, and decided to go crazy on Xbox Live Arcade and picked up things like Limbo and Meat Boy. And Binding of Isaac was one of the ones I tried the demo for. I think the problem is I played them too close to those other games, and Super Meat Boy and things grabbed me straight away, so I've got to go back to it. But I love things like Smash TV and stuff like that, and it is just like those kind of games. Loads of enemies on screen, shooting different directions. It looks really interesting and very unique. I just keep expecting it, because it's so old, to go to a cheaper price, but they put more and more DLC on it, and they keep it at like 40-50 quid. So that's the only thing stopping me from replaying it. But it looks great. I'll get around to it one day.
Awesome stuff. Quick shout out to Reenthused, who have raided us. Good
Oh,
evening.
hello.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
But
We're talking about our favourite single-player Switch games right now. I'm just saying for the sound quick thank you me bobs in the old chat. Cheers guys, much appreciated, and welcome to the stream if you are new to the show. We are joined by Nintendo Norwich this evening, and so we're talking about our favourite Switch games. Who's got another game to shout about?
Okay.
Go for it, Bill. Is it the one that's on your poster in the background?
That one.
Yeah!
Yes, I've not played the first
Insert.
one.
Yeah, this is the first one, but insert any Xenoblade on the Switch.
Too.
They are incredible. It's the Xenoblade, this one that I'm still playing today. you can. It's not just one of the best games on the Switch. It's one of the best games on any console at the moment. It is massive. It feels like you're playing an MMO RPG, like an online RPG, but it's got a legitimately decent story where it's very captivating. You can't put it down. You want to see what happens next. But everything feels like you're in a squad-based RPG online. It's not like it's a massive map, and there's loads of fetch quests. Don't get me wrong, but the world that you walk around with changes from day to night. So one minute you'll be in a swamp and everything's really cloudy and stuff, and when it goes to nighttime, everything starts glowing. And it's just that wow factor of you want to see everything the game has to offer, and it makes you look at the different parts of the map. But even if you just played for the story, you'd be, stuck from beginning to end. And I love it. As far as single player goes, this was open world big adventures that I don't normally get into. This was everything I wanted one of those adventures to be. Where Zelda, I didn't get on with. It's just my personal preference. But this was what I wanted from a single massive multiplayer.
Cool. Lewis in the chat agrees with you, Bill. He says it's a once in a decade game, one of the best games of our generation. And Kizra says it's very pretty and an interesting combat system. One of the best JRPGs I've ever played, says Vegas.
I'm assuming the combat system runs in the same way that it does in Xenoblade 2.
Probably a little bit more simplistic, but what Xenoblade 2 had a lot of randomness. All the characters were locked behind loot boxes. So the frustrating thing about Xenoblade 2 is you might not see everything the game has to offer in one playthrough because you're waiting for that character to drop and randomly appear.
Yeah. I forgot what they're called. Oh, they're called blades. Come on,
Blades.
Emily.
Yeah. But in this one, you can play as any character and switch up all their moves as you see fit, and you're constantly saying, okay, well, I want this character to be a healer, and then that's not working anymore for you in a certain area, so you change it. Certain characters have certain abilities, it's just menus within menus of different things, and it lets you learn at your own pace. Doesn't necessarily hold your hand, and even if you don't get a mechanic, you can still play the game, and then suddenly it will click. And then you'll be like, oh, I got it now. Now I can go back and do those missions. So,
that's pretty much what happened for me too. Because the thing that I was getting stuck with was the battle system. I was playing very basically, and I was still trying to understand the chain attacks as you go through. So once you've done a special with that type, you then got to swap round and then get a level 3 water attack or something like that. And when I finally got that, I was just like, it all makes so much sense now, and it looks epic when I do it. When you understand the battle system, it's like the battle system rewards you for knowing. Say yes, well done, you've got it.
And don't you feel that one of the best things that Xenoblade has? Sorry, guys, we're gushing about Xenoblade.
Yeah, good.
But the best thing about Xenoblade is you go to these massive open world areas where you see all the creatures and the wildlife move around, and you think, oh, this is cool, and you do a couple of quests, and then all of a sudden the music changes, which the music alone is phenomenal, but the music will change, and both you and the enemies in the battle turn, and you're like level 10, and you look at this little monkey monster that just walked into your battle, and you're like, run! And everybody just sprints.
It gave me that kind of level satisfaction that I used to get in old school Pokemon, when you used to go to an area and everything was too powerful for you, and then you go back when you're more souped up and you feel mega about it. So I only know that have my experience in playing 2, and I haven't completed it, but it is crammed with content and just the amount that you can do. If you're looking for a game where you're putting that 50 quid down for a game, Xenoblade will return on it double. There's some games you pay that amount of money for and you think this is quite empty, or it only took one playthrough. You can revisit this and there's all sorts you can do, and just the characters and the voice acting as well. Xenoblade 2 was like my first one that I just stumbled into on a chance, thinking, oh, I'll try this because the voice acting seemed a bit interesting with all the regional accents that they've done over here. So I'm definitely going to go back and play the first Xenoblade. I wish I'd picked up that collector's edition with the shiny big red vinyl.
He's got it.
Can you go get the shiny big red vinyl, please? Please.
Yeah, show it off then.
Shiny, shiny.
Xenoblade 2 Became the first 1 million seller of the series, says Lewis. It's clearly done
Oh
well for itself.
wow! Yeah, because they're normally not the type of games that I would play at all, and it's just something about the storyline and the characters, the fact that this one, I forgot what they're called. Oh, look at it!
God,
I
Look at
also-
it.
Bill.
I also got
He hates you too, John.
that one thing.
Ooh,
Ooh.
shiny!
Shiny.
God,
It's like double-sided.
loot.
Did I get this from you? Did you get this one from me? I can't remember.
I think, mate. Yes, I did. Yeah, I got a few of those. Actually,
Yeah.
look, quick question: do I need to do the first one before I do the second one? Should I do the
No.
first one before I do the second one?
They're very loosely connected. But
Which one should I get first if I want to do one of them, Bill?
X.
Okay.
I'm going to say the first one because you like story more, don't
Yes. And
More
so,
stuff
are you? Obviously, you've got the first one there, yeah.
you? Yes.
Are you playing it at the moment?
John.
Huh?
I'm 100 hours in,
Right.
and I'm thinking about doing a new game plus because it's going to be a
Oh.
completely different 100 hours if I play again. And I still haven't done the extra DLC storyline. So sorry, John.
literally-
So you
John
wouldn't-
literally, can I borrow it?
I was going to say,
please?
yeah. Do you want to
I'm
swap it for my
playing
copy of Last of Us that I've finished?
Well, your what is it? 20 hours
that's-
game?
Bill,
Right
that's a
back
terrible
away.
choice.
27 hours. 27 hours.
Oh, okay.
He
That's-
says
I've
get
got
number
the
one
second- I'm
first.
not playing the
All right.
second one at the moment.
All right.
That's
But
what
I
equal
don't
trade.
think I don't think you'll like the second one as much as the first one because I personally think the first one's got a better story.
Okay. Thank you for the share, Kurt. Much appreciated. Did Bill finish all the side quests? Says Lewis.
Except for the ones that you kind of have to miss. And I did. There's this. Oh God, spoilers! There's a part where you can't go
I'll take my
any
headphones off,
further. There's a
There's
part
this-
where you
I
can't go
won't
any
remember
further,
this.
and I picked up a mission after I'd done that part, so now I can't complete that mission. So, but when I go back and do the new game, I'll pick that up.
All right then. Who's next for a game? Emily.
Me. Should I put my screen share on? Because I don't know if this
You
will
can
make
try
sense.
it.
I will just put on literally just a picture of what the game is.
Okay.
It's called. Hang on. Yes, I'm turning on my screen share thing.
We see
There
green.
we go. Hello. There we go.
We see menus.
Do you see
Goggola.
picture?
I see a picture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Goggola.
Goggola. What's that?
It's basically I say hand painted. It is a painted, illustrated puzzle storyline game which has panels. I'm about to get my screenshots out. It's not a long game, but you bait that each panel or the set of 4 panels which comes up on a screen has these hand illustrated panels, and you've got to explore them, click on them, maybe turn and rotate things. And follow visual prompts because there's no writing at all, no kind of like written word or spoken word. And once you've completed or solved the puzzle in that panel, the panels then either zoom in onto one of them particularly, and then a scene changes, and it takes you through the game. So you're basically going through one painting to another painting to another to another to another, and it's really quite zen, and it's just brilliantly done. If you like your visual puzzles. And a loose plot, I'd really recommend it. And it got a boatload of BAFTA games, according to the internet. Let me just have a look. They've got a website somewhere. Oh no, that's an old thing. I was about to say it's on offer on Steam at the moment, but that's from 2017. You can get it on the App Store and Google Play. Apparently, it's that kind of game.
Okay.
It's illustrated by Jason Roberts. If anybody knows who Jason Roberts is, it's just written like that to imply that I would know who Jason Roberts is, but I don't personally. But I know his work from Gorogoa.
All right. Then.
Yeah, I think it took me maybe 3 or 4 hours to get through, but there's just something about it, how you flow through it. It's a really nice one to sit down and chill to. It's got awards. It's nice. So yeah, this is my personal recommendation for anybody who wants to try something a little bit different and likes puzzle solving. I think you'll get on well with this. I'm not sure. I don't know what to say in the way of replayability. It's been a couple of years since I last played it, so definitely something you can go back to after a while.
That's what you want sometimes, though, isn't it? Just a nice game that just takes a few hours to go through. and you're done with it, and it's like, yeah, that was a nice little experience. I liked it. Not everything
Yeah.
has to be, you know, a 100 hour epic thing that you know, that it changes your life and all that kind of stuff. You don't need all that. Sometimes it's nice to just have a game that you just play, you finish, and it's great.
Yeah,
It's
you
what
just
you
think.
like, isn't it?
I just remember going through it, thinking, oh, this is cleverly done. Oh, I like how they've done that. And oh, if I change or rotate this item in this panel, it affects what's happening to the person down in the fourth painting. It's just clever how it interacts, and you know, I was just like fascinated by how do you build a game like that, like create puzzles like that that would interact in that way. Like, do they have to work backwards? Do you start with a plot? It's just, yeah, it makes you think about just how games are designed and developed. So that's my little nifty. Oh, turn off my screen share. No, not that one. Turn on camera. There we go.
And
There
you're
we
back.
So
Yay!
yeah, that was my recommendation.
Look at the tech. Awesome. I'd be tempted with it.
Seamless.
I presume you've got it on download, haven't you?
Yes.
Yes.
It's I don't know if it's actually had a physical thingamybobby ever.
It's unlikely.
Probably not,
isn't
but
it?
it's on most. It's on most platforms. It's on Steam. It's apparently on Apple and Google Play, so they've optimized it for mobile. So it's easy for anyone to pick up. But I just found it on the Switch. I think
Okay.
a couple of Christmases ago, and it was a nice holiday playthrough.
All right.
It looks very unique. I'll check it out after the stream.
Next time
Awesome.
you visit the cafe, after we've reopened for Screen Hub on the 23rd of July, don't you know? You should bring it in so that I can play it without having to buy it. Anyway,
I'll
moving.
hire my Switch out to you, John. That's how the screen hire thing works at One Life Left, isn't it? So if I take £2.50 an hour for you to play Gorogoa on my Switch, that's fine.
Burn.
We'll
Also, can I
we'll
just
do a
can I
deal with a
quickly
mocker
interrupt
or
before
something.
I forget?
Oh, please go ahead. Any plugs you
I
want
am
to do?
worth more than a mocker, John. As if you could buy Gorogoa that cheap. I had to pay £16 custom charge on this item that I purchased for the Switch because I pledged to Wonderful 101 on Kickstarter, and it finally arrived today. Thank you
Yeah.
for all that. It's got a little lenticular case, so I'm quite happy with that.
I do like a
Because I
nice
think-
lenticular case.
It's the closest I will get to Beautiful Joe on Switch, so I'll bring that in, and then you can pay me to play it, John.
Can
as
we
well.
have a review of this on next week's Nintendo show?
If
That's a
It's
big
not-
ask. That's quite a long game.
yes,
And
it's
what about for those of us
multiplayer.
who don't have it?
Exactly. there's download codes now as well. You could review it, John. I can give you the Steam code I got
Ooh.
because you've got the Elgato as well.
That's
So
true.
I can't
actually.
really review and
That's true.
record it.
Here's an idea. Why don't we time ourselves, each bring a game, and try and review it in like a 2-minute time frame?
Oh no, that sounds too much like my Pecha Kusha doing my
Easy.
masters. No.
Absolutely easy. Pick any game, I will give you a 2-minute review of it.
Yeah.
Awesome.